Do you overcomplicate storing food in Mylar bags? Let's simplify it.
Hi, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Kenny.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Christy, and we are the Provident Preppers.
Today we're going to be talking about how to store food in Mylar bags. Now, Mylar bags come in all kinds of sizes and thicknesses and all kinds of variables, including the quality, but the principles are still the same. We're going to talk about how to store food in these bags. So here we go.
To get started, we're going to need some tools. First, we need the right size Mylar bags and the right size oxygen absorbers to go in them. You'll need a flat iron like you use for your hair to seal the bags and markers to write what's in them.
And then, if you're like us and we want to seal it in buckets, then you'll want a mallet to be able to seal it shut, and a pair of scissors is always handy.
Let's go!
For our project today, we are going to be using these very large bags from Wallaby. These will fit in either a 5-gallon or a 6-gallon bucket. This kit also comes with the oxygen absorbers that you need. These are a larger oxygen absorber, and they give you actually 20. There's only 15 bags, but they give you 20 just in case you need some extra.
Before we get started packaging food in the Mylar bags, it's important to talk about exactly which foods are candidates for storing in Mylar bags with an oxygen absorber. We need foods that are low in moisture, less than 10%, and low in fat. So what we've done is we picked up some bags of rolled oats from Winco, which are about $15 for a 25-pound bag. That is a killer price, and it'll feed a lot of people for a long time. The other thing we have are bags of rice that we just picked up at Costco. And then we picked up some sugar just at Walmart. They sell it in the large bags. Now, we will not be using an oxygen absorber with the sugar because it will turn it hard. We have 6-gallon buckets, which these bags, the Wallaby bags, are the perfect size for the 6-gallon buckets. And in our food storage, we fill these up, then we use it, and then we refill the buckets and use them over and over again. We also picked up some very cheap buckets just at Walmart. These were only like $3, a little bit less than $3 a piece. And I'm not sure if they're food grade or not, but it doesn't matter in this specific case because we're putting the Mylar bag inside of it, and so the food will never touch the bucket. Normally, you always want to make sure that you have a plastic lid that has a rubber gasket to make sure that you can create an airtight seal. Because we're using the Mylar bag, that is not as important. So you actually could even use like a Home Depot or a hardware store bucket with a lid that doesn't seal really tightly. By using the plastic bucket and the Mylar bag inside, you have created a really good environment for storing your goods long term. So I'm going to place this bag inside of the bucket and make sure that we open up the bottom as well as we can so that the rice fits down there really nicely.
We are shaking the buckets to settle it. And once it's settled, we're going to squeeze out all the air. Just make sure that it can go all the way down, and then zip it up. We're zipping it up, and we're not putting an oxygen absorber in it because it's sugar, so it doesn't need one. So and before we seal it, we are going to write Sugar 2021 on the bag. So we've written on our bags, and now we seal it with the straightener, but make sure you do not seal the zip part because that would be a bad thing. So I am just sealing the bag using the straight iron, just going right across the top and melting it together. I'm avoiding the zipper because that would be bad. We want to be able to seal it again when we're using it, not just when it's, being stored. And just flat iron it like you'd flat iron your hair. Masterfully done. Thank you. Ta-da! We are now inspecting the seals to make sure we got it all. And it looks like we did. So, now I squish it down. Put the lid on. Make sure you label the bucket immediately after smacking it.
So now we've shaken these down, and we want to do that so that we can fit as much in this bag as possible. Because, you know, if we don't use the space, then it's just wasted space. Anyway.
So now we're going to put oxygen absorbers in them. These were really nice. They came with the Wallaby Mylar bags that we got. So they're the right kind to put in the buckets. And they're individually wrapped, so we can just hurry and put them in. And we don't have to worry about putting them outside if we have too many. So now we're gonna put them in here and seal the bags. Okay, so this bag looks way too big for this bucket. There's a good 1.5 feet there. But one of the reasons we like to do that is because we like to reuse everything so it costs less and so we can make the most of what we're using. So what we'll do is after we've sealed it and after we've used this whole thing, then we're going to cut off the part that's been sealed and reuse it. So it'll just keep getting lower and lower. But we should be able to get 7 or 8 uses out of it before we need to get a new one. Normally at this point, we would just put the lids on and seal them and be done with it, put it away in our food storage. But right now, we want to show you what it looks like in 24 hours when the oxygen absorbers have started to work.
It's been more than 24 hours and we're ready to seal up these buckets. You can see that the oxygen absorbers have done their job. They pulled down a little bit. But remember, oxygen is 20% of the air that we breathe, and that's all that's being tied up. So it's not going to look like it's vacuum sealed, but you can see some difference.
It's really important to label your buckets correctly because once they've been sealed up, it's really hard to tell what's on the inside. Bam! Oh my gosh, that was I kind of missed. Like that? Oh. I think I did it. And now for the question of the day. What have you done this week to make yourself more self-reliant? Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.